kids. I'm Jill Holton, and I'm glad you're here today. I am the kindergarten first grade leader, South Campus, on Wednesdays. And this month for Hope Kids, we are learning about how creative God is. Today we're reading from the book of Esther, and it's a story from the Old Testament, and it is a great example of how God can use us in unexpected ways. Have you ever been asked, what do you want to be? You know, none of us really know. When I need help with a question like that, I call my friend Cheryl. She's the kindergarten first grade leader, South Campus, on Sundays. I'm going to give her a call right now.
Hi, Jill. Well, how are you? What? Did I know what I wanted to be? Oh, yeah, the book of Esther. Yes, yeah. I can get that up on my computer right now. It is an amazing story about a woman named Esther. And Esther's story shows us how God can use our creativity in unexpected ways. Esther was the queen of Persia, but she didn't become queen in her usual way. Her father wasn't a king. She wasn't from a rich family or famous. Esther was Jewish, and the Jewish people were often referred to as God's people. Now, many of God's people had been captured and brought to Babylon when their home was defeated. Then Babylon was taken over by the Persians. So, Esther grew up in Persia. Now, when Esther's parents died, her uncle Mordecai raised her as his own daughter. Now, King Xerxes was the king of Persia, and the queen, his queen, didn't show up to a party. So, King Xerxes got angry and decided to hold a contest to choose a new queen. He chose the most beautiful woman, and guess, Jill, who he chose?
I think I know the answer to that. He chose Esther. So is that the end of the story? Not sure what that has to do with God using us in unexpected ways.
Oh, no, Jill. There's more to the story. Now, King Xerxes had an official named Haman. Haman was not a good guy. He was like a bully in school. He expected everybody to bow to him.
You mean bow like this?
I can't see you, Jill, but I'm guessing you got it. Now, when Esther's uncle would not bow, Haman was angry, and he made a plan to kill her uncle and all the Jewish people.
What? That is so scary.
It is. And Esther's cousin sent a message to her.
Woo! I love it. It says, Dear Esther, you must ask the king to save our people. Sincerely, your Uncle Mordecai. So, Cheryl, do you think Esther was afraid to do this?
She sure was. No one was allowed to talk to the king unless they were invited. The king could have killed her. It was risky to go to the king. So guess what? Mordecai sent her another message.
I got it. It says, what if you don't say anything at this time? Then help for the Jews will come from another place. It is possible that if you became a queen just for a time like this. Esther 4:14.
Now Mordecai believed that God had placed her as queen to save his people, and Esther agreed. It is time to get creative. So Jill, guess what she did? She and all the Jews fasted and prayed for 3 days. And on that third day, she was ready to go to the king. And guess what? King Xerxes was pleased to see her.
Whew, what a relief!
Now the king told Esther he would give her anything, so she decided that she needed to get creative and invited the king and the bully Haman to a special dinner. They had a great time, and she invited them to another dinner. Now, the king was curious. He said, "I will give you anything, Esther." So she begged the king to save her people from being killed. Well, the king was furious, and he stopped the plan. He created a new order that would save the Jewish people.
So Cheryl, God gave Esther a special job to do, and he gave her a chance to help her people when no one else could. When the time was right, she used her creativity. And you know what? God created you for a purpose too. You know, that reminds me of our verse for this month. It says, "Lord, you are great, and you are really worthy of praise. No one can completely understand how great you are." Psalm 145:3.
Jill, that's great. How do these Hope kids know God's purpose for them?
They should pay attention to their gifts. Like Christy talked about last week, sometimes it's really big things, but many times it's just little things in the day. Often it's actually both. Do you ever have things that make you sad? Do you ever have things that make you excited? Well, I'm kind of sad summer is ending, but I'm kind of excited for this fall. You know, it's going to be so full of changes this year for fall. We don't really know what it's going to look like. But just like Esther, we can pray and we can prepare. But really, let's pray.
Jill, I would love to pray for these kids and their families. Dear God, thank you so much for the story of Esther. It reminds us that you have an amazing plan and purpose, and we know that we can trust you no matter what. Please help us to use everything you've given us to do what you want. We love you. Amen.
So, Hope Kids, what is our purpose today? Cheryl and I challenge you to think of how you can prepare for fall. One thing that will help you is to pray just like Esther. Have a great week and be creative.